Whew! Hello, fellow YouTubers. How you doing? Yeah. So I had noticed that I had not recorded anything for a little bit there. I had put up something for Patreon people. So, and then I kind of just been really busy and I didn't get quite to it. So I was like, and plus, I can get into a little bit of that and stuff. So, how you doing? Doing well? Doing good? Doing fantastic? Doing fine? Getting ready for the end of the year, sort of thing? Huh? But yeah. So I was looking on YouTube and I seen that I hadn't put out anything since a Rambling Weekly episode for people for the general audience since like early October. So thought, hey, let's see how you doing. And for starters, I've really been crazily editing. I'm hoping to have it done by like the idea is get this edit portion done and then have a few people read through it, give me feedback, and then go through one more time with it like an edit, but it's like more of the whole thing, and then be like, okay, tweak. Because right now I'm making like edit notes. So for example, I started with edit notes for chapter 1 and then edit notes for chapter 2, and then I would go back and edit chapter 1, and then once I finish that, make edit notes for chapter 3 and then edit chapter 2, kind of that staggered sort of thing. And for example, Monday, for like 13 hours I I finished up edit notes for chapter 14, edited all of chapter 13, and then did about half of chapter 15, and then that was like 11 hours, and it was like poop, gone, and you're like, hey, it's already been 13 hours. It was 13 hours. It's like, oh day's already gone. So it's one of those things where it's, you gotta like wear a very different hat, and then because it's also, I'm trying to put an index together so that when there are references to things that I don't want to give like really lengthy digressions to kind of explain, or yeah, that's probably the best way to do it. Or through repetition throughout the story, it might make more sense being used in different contexts, or just a situational kind of thing. Case in point would be if you've ever read Clockwork Orange, or A Clockwork Orange, is if you read the first page of that, you don't want to understand what's going on. Like, because I think it's like, I don't know if it's Slavic or Russian slang that was used at the time for the immigrants in the UK. But you read the first page and you're kind of like, what is going on? What does this even mean? And then about halfway through, 2/3 of the way through, you can actually go back and read that first page, and you'll understand it. It's pretty nifty. I think it was fairly nifty in that regard. So while I kind of like using that element, there's also some things that I don't want to. Well, okay, for myself, I'm not a big fan of Tolkien. Tolkien. I don't think it's Tolkien. I'm not the biggest fan of Lord of the Rings. It's when you have like pages of digression for a branch on a tree in a forest that they never go into. It wears on me. It's just not my kind of cup of tea reading it. For some people, they like it, and that's fine. That's Ernest Hemingway. We are all apprentices in a craft that has no master. So it's like there are very different ways and a plethora of ways to do writing. Take, for example, Train Spotting. Going all over the place. But so I have to be conscientious of the fact that when reading it, yeah, I may know it all about what's kind of going on and these references that are made in the story, but the reader isn't going to catch some of this stuff, so I need to make an index. And it's like, okay, so not only am I editing, but I'm also putting together an index and all that fun stuff. So but at this point now, the juncture of it, this late in the quote unquote game, in the game, or in the story, because the story altogether is like 18 chapters. I really don't have a lot more that I need to put into the index, so it's kind of it's quick. The pace is quickened a bit, and the last two chapters are very short, but I think they're probably going to get beefed up a bit just through the editing process and stuff. And even so, like, the last two chapters are really short, and the one before that is the longest one when I had first written it out. That ended up being the longest chapter. I think that one is going to get beefed up as well. So I don't know how it'll all kind of come out, but I'm hoping to have all of it done by the end of this month, and then all that fun stuff. So I've been really kind of crazily going at that. And I honestly haven't done much else. I finished reading, because I never really got around to it. I finally finished reading the Fire Emblem manga that I had. It only took me years to get to it, but finally it was like, you know what, this is how I'm gonna kind of click down my brain, by reading stuff in another language that I'm become incredibly rusty with. But that is how it go. But so that's partially why I haven't been so active on the YouTubes, and even with Rambling Weekly. The other thing particularly with Rambling Weekly itself is that more so that's talking really like ideas, and kind of trying to at least parcel out different kind of like perspectives about ideas and whatnot. Like the last one I did, it was the info everywhere, kind of talking about how people not warning, but how particularly in the generation with the advent of the internet, and how information is so available, but people as a whole generally just kind of take out what really suits their perspective for things, to because we always want to feel like we know what's going on, when that ain't quite the truth. But like, I have a few different ideas, and I think one was that I started recording and then I just didn't end up liking it, so I deleted it, but was reflective societies reflected in media, like for example, the advent of a lot of zombie stuff. Why is that? When it first came out, I think it was something like the concept of the zombie was how saying, hey, people, like, wake up, sort of thing. You're just kind of going through life like, I think I could be wrong about that, but I thought that was the concept of where that sort of came from, or why that was used in the movies with Dawn of the Dead and stuff like that. I mean, I know you have the where's that at? In the Caribbean. I don't think it's Jamaica. Maybe it is Jamaica, but I don't think somewhere in the Caribbean where you have the they're not shaman, but I guess voodoo doctors. They're not voodoo doctors, but they were able to give people these sorts of drugs, and they would become their slaves and stuff, and that's where kind of concept. But it's kind of like a golem in a way, sort of, except for not made of clay, stone, whatever. Earth. Okay, anywho, it was kind of going into that and stuff, and I didn't quite like how it ended up being, because it kind of sounded sanctimonious, so I was like, well, let's get rid of it. So but that's partially why I've been really slow on that, is because of the editing. I'm not really, and it wasn't like I was putting like insane amounts of thoughts into it, but I didn't want it to be just like, oh, here's a throwaway idea, and then just kind of so I mean, like, which is kind of interesting. Maybe it's just me, but if you look back on some of those episodes, I'm talking about things that are going on crazy right now. Dressing up others as monsters is an episode, I think, from July or something, talking about how people, think of themselves as a hero. I mean, this is what we all do. We all think we're doing good, whether it's selfish in that we think we're doing good for ourselves or our families or whatever, or we think we're just doing good things. And the opposition of that is obviously that they are some sort of, because you are against me and I'm the hero, you are a monster in need of being slain. And that's that is the, you know, why we've kind of gotten to where we are right now. And it's a problem. And it's not to say that it's only like one group of people. People in general do that. This is why when it comes to, I don't think it's story theory, or maybe it's character theory or something, but this is why when a lot of people say that an element that makes a good villain is that they believe that they are the hero of their own story. And part of that is because it humanizes them. It gives them a greater texture that we can kind of be like, ooh, they're so rough and bubbly. Well, that doesn't make any sense, but it's because that's how people are. People are not maniacal madmen as a whole. People are not maniacal madmen laughing and stuff, going like Carnage from I think it's Marvel. I don't pay enough attention, but Marvel, where it's just like, I'm gonna create chaos and all this sort of stuff, kill things. Most people aren't like that. Certainly, you got some of those, and they're psychotic, but not a majority of them. So, yeah, and I because of having those episodes and stuff, I just really haven't thought of a good, as a new, good idea to kind of go with, other than the media being the mirror reflecting society's whatever. See, I can't even articulate it well here. So that's that. And I don't know if I've really mentioned it, and I know I've gone way too long, but I haven't seen you in a while, so hey. But the other thing was, and I may have mentioned it here, cause this is me trying to record this again, but because I totally went dumb. Just the other thing was that I have no timeline for this, but I would like to eventually start up doing like stream Twitch stuff again, because I did a little bit of that in Japan, and then I just didn't. Laptop wasn't very good for it and stuff, so it just kind of went by the wayside. But hopefully, like I said, I don't have a time line for this, but hopefully sometime in the near future, I would like to get a better computer so that I can do that sort of stuff, and also put out more videos and whatnot, because I really haven't, particularly because I've been focusing on the editing and stuff, and then also working with the game and everything, and trying to hammer out that. It takes a lot of time. I mean, I'm only talking about like the free time I have, so I'm not even like bringing up any of the other stuff going on in life. So that's because there is nothing. But yeah, so that's doing that and doing all the fun stuff. But hopefully sometime in the near future, I'll be able to kind of start getting back into that, because I liked doing the Naruto video. I don't know if you've watched that, but I enjoyed making that. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. Not saying it is, not saying it's amazing, not saying it's the best thing ever, but I enjoyed doing it. I liked replaying through the game to capture some of the video. I know, I think like some of the video that I put on, like this is the problem with my laptop, is that like sometimes it'll record things all right, and then other times it'll record things and it'll be like delayed. The audio will delay. It'll desync, and I don't know why that is. If somebody has an answer for why that is, I'd be more than willing to hear why that may be. But I honestly think it's because my laptop is a pile of poop. It's hot garbage, and because it's hot garbage, it does that. I had the same thing happen with. I mean, it's all right when it's. I don't use the audio for it, but it keeps me from wanting to do anything because I'm like, well, maybe I want to use the audio for this, or I think I didn't want. Maybe I don't know if I did. I had the intentions of using the voice acting for Nayuta as a point about something, but because it did what it did, I was just like, you some bit. So it was just, yeah, it didn't really work out there for me, kind of thing. So that is that. I don't know if I got much else, but yeah, that's the idea. Something I'd like to do. That way, it kind of works, kind of hand in hand, doing, a Twitch thing, being more proactive, or not even proactive, but more active with that sort of thing. Also, I think would lead hand in hand with doing that, or like making more videos and reviews and stuff. Because I've got them written, and or like the games I'd like to do, I've got them written. I partially write scripts. It's kind of like, oh, here's little things, because I'll forget things. I know, like, a lot of times if I don't have some sort of checklist, I will just forget B through Q and then only talk about A. So it's kind of something that keeps me laser focused. And there's times where it's I write out a few things just so I don't forget to be like, why don't you say these things right here? So that is that. I don't think I got much else there. Yeah. So hopefully before too long I'll be back to doing more to YouTube things. I don't do not expect any sort of rambling weekly thing for a little while, just because unless I have some sort of epiphany, and then I'll be like, I kind of doubt that I'll be doing that, just because of the editing and everything. It's I get done with that and I'm just kind of like, brain is mush brain. So that is it. Thank you for watching me ramble on this little vlog thing, majig video. Hey, yeah, and talk to you later. Have a good day.